everyone, this is Lady Ash from Book Catalot, and I am here to review Daughter Smoke and Bone. And yes, I know, I am still, again, late to the bandwagon, but, I just didn't get around to reviewing this book when I read it, right away. I didn't get around to doing that. Sorry! But guess what, everyone? I finally found a book about angels and demons that isn't ridiculous and stupid, and The Mortal Instruments doesn't count because they were great until book 4, and then things went super downhill seriously fast. But I really love this book, and so first of all, I love a particular style of writing that unfortunately most authors until recently couldn't pull off. I like other styles of writing, but this is one of my favorites, and it doesn't really have a name, but it's sort of stream of consciousness, lyrical, poetic. That's the best way I can describe it, and it paints this picture in my head like a song almost. And I've heard that Jack Kerouac does that in his novel On the Road, which I haven't read. Like, I remember trying to read it when I was in high school and not really liking it enough to make time to finish it. And I know Francesca Lia Block does it beautifully. She's where I first ran into the style. She's actually one of my favorite authors ever, and I will be reviewing her books sometime in my lifetime. But I finally found the first, I guess, in this new wave of young adult literature, the first author in this new wave of that who actually does it well also. So that's the first reason why I love this book. The second reason I love this book is because I'm LDS, aka Mormon. I tend to avoid certain things in novels. Angels and demons, reincarnation, books about serial killers, where the main character is a serial killer, books about mean kids doing mean things. That's why I don't like Pretty Little Liars. Extreme violence, sex, graphic sex, so I don't read erotica, stuff like that. But Daughter of Smoke and Bone takes the whole angel-demon concept as well as reincarnation and gives it this spin that makes it LDS appropriate, which is great. So all you Mormon girls out there looking to read some, LDS appropriate books, and you Mormon boys, totally read these books. They're so amazing. So the angels in this novel are a race known as the Seraphim, but they're not angels sent by God. They're not divine. They don't come from heaven. They actually say that, though a few of the nuttier bad guys are like, well, the humans think we come from heaven. Maybe we do come from heaven. And everyone else is like, go home, Sarah, if you're drunk. Actually, the Seraphim are another species that happen to look really cool and have wings that look like light and fire, which is really cool, who come from another world called Arats, and they're mortal, long-lived, but still killable. And their creation story actually has nothing to do with Judeo-Christian mythos at all. So, point one for Laini Taylor, the author. The demons in Daughter of Smoke and Bone aren't demons either. A character named Akiva, a seraph, who is the male lead, refers to one specific chimera as the devil because he hates the guy, but that's it. The so-called demons are actually a group of different races known collectively as chimeras that also come from the world of Arats. They're animalistic humanoids. Madrigal, one of the main characters, has a human face and body, but antelope horns and hooves instead of feet and bat wings. Another chimera, Issa, is a woman up top, but a snake below the waist. The chimera's relationship to the seraphim is very similar to the early Native Americans to the white settlers, but with a twist. The seraphim were basically like, we'll civilize you. Oh, and by the way, we need to torture you so we can harvest your pain to fuel our magic. Thanks, bye. Obviously, rebellion was looming. So, fast forward to the start of the story. We meet Karu, the main character, who is called, quote-unquote, the Wishmonger's daughter. I mean, that's just cool, right there, the Wishmonger's daughter. She's a 17-year-old art student in Prague, and at night she runs errands for this chimera named Brimstone, the guy that raised her, in her free time. What sort of errands? She collects teeth. And no, Brimstone is not the Tooth Fairy. For one thing, he refuses to accept the teeth of children. Why? It's explained in the book, and it's a really good reason. But Brimstone is a trader, trading wishes, which come in denominations like money does. Scuppies are at the bottom, blah, 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 all the way to Bruxeals at the top. And how creative is that, anyway? To his suppliers for the teeth they give him. And not just human teeth, but actually mostly animal teeth. As long as they're in good condition, he takes them. And here's where we get into reincarnation that isn't actually reincarnation, just like we touched on demons and angels that aren't really demons and angels. So the chimeras possess the ability to take over magically created bodies. Their natural form is actually non-corporeal in a way. That means they don't have a physical form. They have the ability, when their current body falls in battle or is injured and dies or whatever, to take over another body made for them by sorcerers like Brimstone from the teeth collected. Not just teeth. They use, I think it's teeth and gemstones and I think something else. And it only works with adults. It's a magical technique that requires fierce concentration and force of will, and the bodies they get are created fully mature most of the time. Basically, depending on the age of the animal when the teeth were taken. So, if they used a child's teeth, they'd get a child. If they used, a puppy's teeth, they'd get a puppy body. It's not reincarnation exactly, because if there's no magical body prepped, they just die after a few days of floating around without a corporeal form to inhabit. Which actually kind of reminds me of The Host by Stephanie Meyer, because the souls, quote unquote, the aliens, can only survive outside of a host body for so long. Daughter Smoke and Bone actually only spans like a week or two, which is like mind-boggling to me. It's kind of like Angels and Demons, but the Dan Brown book, which I think spans like 48 hours, and it's like 500 pages long. And I was like, holy crap, what even? But in the week or two that the Daughter Smoke and Bone spans, a lot happens. I can't really describe it without giving too much away, but it's beautiful, it's entrancing, it's such a twisty novel. I raced through it because I had to know what happened next. It's all about the power of love, how it can transform, or heal, or even destroy, and how sometimes secrets are secret for a reason, and how love without trust can be a two-edged sword. And I'm warning you guys now, the end will leave you with your hands over your mouth making squeaky noises of disbelief. Big bonus for the book as well, Karu's best friend Susanna is hilarious. Karu calls her Tiny Violent One, and she's just a riot. She's also a very gifted dancer and an artist, hence why her short story is called Night of Cake and Puppets, which I really want to read, but it's only available for the Kindle. I don't know why people do that to me. And, oh, she's so funny. Like, she talks about tasering people, including Karu's ex-boyfriend, who kind of deserves it. And she talks about how, like, cake is, like, the best thing ever, unless it was in your pockets. And then, because pocket cake is gross. And I love her so much. And she kind of reminds me of my best friend, Lori and Kitty Books, whose channel is linked below. Lorian is not quite as hyper, and she's older than Susanna, but just the relationship between Karu and Susanna is, like, super awesome, and it reminds me of my relationship with Lorian. And I love these books, and I think everyone should buy them and read them, which is why I have all three of them. And if Night of Cake and Puppets was available in hard form, I would buy it. But it's not, because Laini Taylor likes to torture people. So, all in all, I give Daughter Smoke and Bone 4.5 out of 5 stars. The only reason I don't give it a full 5 stars is because of the relationship between Karu and Akiva. And I want a happily ever after, and I don't have one yet. Miss Laini Taylor, this not acceptable. Please rectify this by book 3, if you would be so kind. But that's my only complaint about the entire book, is the end is like, oh, my feels, oh, it hurts! The characterization is impressive and believable, the worlds are beautifully crafted, and the whole teeth, wish, gemstone, bodies thing is super creative. Like, I don't even know how she came up with that. Wow. And she has a new book coming out soon. Woohoo! Not in the same series, but don't care, because I'm that impressed with her. So, I seriously think that everyone should read this book. This will be a book that I love forever. It's not going to tarnish in my memory like certain books like Harry Potter. So, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please, like and subscribe. Let me know what you guys thought of my review. Let me know what you guys thought of the book if you've read it. And I look forward to hearing from you guys soon. So, farewell. Enjoy your quest into the book world.